Hi, everybody. Welcome to an early edition of Carmela's Rasslin Radio Relived. I'm here with my baby girl, Jeannie. Hi.
Hello, Carm.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you again.
Good. Yes.
We have a really cool show tonight. We have,
yes.
Yes, we're going to concentrate predominantly tonight on One and Done and the May 3rd because it's getting close. Joel keeps telling me 39 more days, So that's what we're going to focus on tonight. But we have a re-guest tonight who was on our show before, who we absolutely love. And enjoy talking to.
Yes.
A sweet person. I just called him Sweet Face, and that's now his new name, okay? But anyway, we have a lot to talk about tonight. So without any further ado, let's bring on Mr. Nasty Pants, Joel Goodhart. Hi.
You didn't call me Sweet Face. She didn't call me Sweet Face.
Because you're Nasty Pants.
Jesus, Lordy, Lord.
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine. I was going to just call you something, and I chose not to at the split second.
Well, excuse me. You're always saying nice things about Jeannie. You don't say anything nice about me, so I don't want to hear it.
I'm going to continue to do that. Nice things about Jeannie, and nothing. 40 years ago, I didn't say anything nice about you. I'm not going to start now.
Well, you're still Nasty Pants then. So without any further ado, let's bring on Sweet Face, Mr. DC Drake. How you doing, doll?
Woo! Good. How are you? Thank you. Joel, why the Nasty Pants, Joel? Can you explain that a little bit?
I have no clue. I figured it might be something later.
Okay.
Come on, Don. You know him. You know I'm right.
I'm not saying anything.
He has been nasty to me for 40 years. Well, most of 40 years. Let's put it that way.
Well, so at least he's consistent, right? So I've been good, thank you. So at least he's consistent. So
he's consistent with me anyway, But I wanted to ask you how you did with the flu. It's all gone now, all better?
Oh yeah, but it was a kicker for a while. Lasted longer than anyone I had, so it was tough. Yeah,
I heard that. Thank God I haven't gotten it yet this year, but I heard that it's pretty tough if you do get it. That's kind of tough. But anyway, our most important thing that we're going to talk about tonight is One and Done. And it, as Joel, like I said, keeps telling me every day he knocks down a day. So what is it now? 38 days, Joel?
Something like that. Yeah, 38 days.
Something like that. But then when he's on the phone with me, he's like, 39 days. I can't stand it. I'm waiting. I get nervous. But anyway, it is only 38 days away. And again, we encourage people to please buy your tickets now at 2300arena.com because you don't want to wait till the last minute. I keep saying that over and over
and
again.
I do want to say also congratulations. We did it with the signatures for the banner. So you will be up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
Did you know that, Don? We made it with the signatures.
Yes, I saw that. Yes, thank you, everyone. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be big. Don, chills have got to be running through your body sometimes when you think about that. And we talked about it last week as well. Not last week, the week before, about how you guys deserve it so much. Everybody who's named on for this banner deserves every accolade that comes with it. And congratulations to both of you.
Well, certainly, I think that Joel's name should be bigger than everybody else's, honestly, because he's the one that made it all happen. I'm not kidding when they say that, Joel. I mean that.
Thank you, Sweet Face.
Oh, you're welcome, Nasty Pants. What he put into it. I mean, what he put into it, his dedication, his heart. I mean, I'm serious when they say that. So it's really the guy next to me in that photo is the one that's really made all this happen. And I appreciate it, Joel. Thank you.
I thank you, but I will tell you, and I say this, it was Drake Winters. It was Stetson Hot Body. I didn't have to wrestle a whit. Okay, you guys did the blood and guts. You got DC. You're the one that went over the temple's mezzanine and came to the floor. Okay, so the reality is it took all five of us. Let's be honest. But the reality is, if the four of you don't do it, my banner doesn't go up there. So no. While you're here, I'll thank you. And I'll tell you, when it comes right down to it, I know that Larry Winter's son is going to be in attendance. Colin's going to be there.
Great.
You'll be there, of course. Stetson's going to be there. Hot Body's going to be there. I'll be there. The four of us, and with Colin, the five of us will watch this banner. The curtain will come down, and we'll see it up there in bright lights, and we all earned it equally. One didn't do it without the other. The whole business of wrestling is you're only as good as the person you're in the ring with, and I was only as good as the four guys that were in the ring working with me.
But let me tell you something, Joe. I think I spoke to, when I spoke last time with Carmela and Jeannie, it was really when we were back in the locker rooms, and especially that first show, everybody was saying Joel's done so much for Philadelphia wrestling, and Carmela as well, because the radio show was happening at the time. So there was so much being done, and we wanted to go out there and do the best we could for you. That was the point. Not everybody I worked for, I'm sure I know I can speak for, I think, everybody, got that kind of blood flowing in us. We'd go out, we'd do our job, we'd work, we did what we were supposed to do. And again, a lot of it's for the fans, but we wanted really to do it for you because of what you put into it. So I don't want to make it blow it out of proportion, but that's the reality. I remember the discussion I had with Larry when I told him I was going to go over the railing, and he said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah." But I pretty much knew what I was doing. I mean, I didn't do anything stupid. And, the point was, let's make this something memorable. I mean, that was the whole point. Let's go out there and give it our all, and let's make this something that we can be proud of and Joel can be proud of. So really, it was what you guys were doing down there with the radio show, what you put into this. If it wasn't for that, I mean, we had that incentive to go out there and do well, and that was the point. So.
Well, again, I still say, Carmen, just real quick, 35 years later, we're still talking about what we accomplished. And that says everything that has to be said about anything. This stuff is memorable. That was your word. And this is going to be remembered forever.
It's funny. When I started this podcast, somebody had said to me, don't you want to leave a legacy for your children and people you leave behind? And I was like, oh, that makes sense. All right, I'll try it. But I love doing what I'm doing right now. And that's getting back to what Joel was just saying. It will be remembered forever. And even if it's a blurb on a screen 10 years from now, 20 years from now, it'll always be on YouTube. It'll always be there. It'll always be remembered. The beautiful part about it is those matches will be there forever. They are forever ingrained in the world, in the life of everybody who wants it there. And Joel did great things when he came out and started to do the wrestling on his own. And I think personally, the three of us, Joel and myself and my ex-husband, we built the foundation originally. Okay. We originally started with the wrestling. We started with the radio show, blah, 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 blah. But then everything that is TWA, everything, it's like Joel said, if it's not everybody involved, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. Okay. And everybody involved, it has to be a mutual thing. It has to be, he had extremely good content. He had extremely good wrestlers. He had extremely good ideas. He had extremely good voluntary enthusiasm, I'm going to say, because everybody who was there wanted to do it. And the fans, come on, the fans have to really be credited a lot, because the fans are the ones that the noise, the excitement, that's what keeps things going. If the fans just sat there and didn't say anything or didn't come to the shows, all the enthusiasm in the world isn't going to do anything. You have to have all of these factors together to make it work. And you did that, Joel. You had all the factors. You had everything that you were as a promoter. You had everything that the wrestlers were, that these guys gave up literally blood and guts. Okay. Mm-hmm. And you had the fans. You had the people that loved it enough to keep coming back. And those three components together is what make it so successful. And even we were joking with Joel saying, oh, you're going to do another show. You're going to do another show. And he keeps saying, no, no, no. But even if you don't ever do another show, okay, this banner being up there is going to be there for every organization that goes in there. WWE, AEW, basketball, baseball, football, whatever. Excuse me. It's going to be there forever. And that is, I think, the important part.
And I'm telling you right now, I know I have to keep repeating this. This is my last show. I called it one and done. Somebody called me the other day and said, I'm going to probably have a second show, and it should be called Two and Through. It's one and done and over. We're changing the name to One and Done and Over.
And over. Well, I don't know. I still keep saying, he keeps saying he's never going to be involved in anything again, and I still don't believe him. Especially if this card goes well, I don't believe him. At least you got to come back on the podcast, Joel.
Can I say hi to Jeannie? She hasn't said a word yet.
Well, I agree with everything that Carmela said, everything that Don said, and I agree with Joel. I think he's done. And he backed away 30 some odd years ago and never looked back. And this is a closure to that. And I think, you know, if he wants to be a part of any con or you know, the cauliflower hour reunion thing, go into that, I think he'll do. But I don't think he'll do another, just talking to him on the phone and just like, oh my God, what did I do?
I'm already scheduled to be out in Vegas at Cauliflower Alley Club. I've been there before. Obviously, I've been a lifetime member for a long time, and I will still participate and we'll still visit some cons. I'm just not doing another show.
Right.
But you'll come back here.
Where?
The podcast. Hello? Come on, Nasty Pants. You're coming.
Let's put it this way. Probably yes. I'll probably come back on. I want to come on to the show that we talk about how the show went. And that way we can really close it. In fact, Don, you don't know this one, but with the show on May 3rd, we're ending the show with a second 10-bell salute. The last one, the second, that's the death of the TWA.
Oh, wow. My God. Stop.
Good.
That's a little dramatic.
I think it puts a lid on it, right? So
that's it. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, see, I don't like that.
I was thinking today, and again, when I was involved with the NWF, I did the TV work for them and all the TV production. And I was thinking, just imagine if you guys had what's available today in terms of the internet, in terms of YouTube, in terms of the ability to sit down and edit the stuff yourself. I remember sitting we used channel 39 to do our TV taping, the same ones Vince used. It was expensive, but this was back, it was costing like $5,500, I think, to do a taping. That wasn't including the post-production work, which I would do. And sit there and do it. I mean, it was 3 tape machines going and hours and hours and hours. Imagine what you could do today with what you had. You know, how this would really.
Here's the answer. With what we had would not work today. It worked because kayfabe was still around. It worked because we had a ton of independent talent. Today, everybody's under contract. Okay. And today you think we did crazy stuff back then? You should see what some of these guys are doing now.
No, I've seen it. And but see, Joel, to me, the thing today, when I see that, because everybody knows what it is.
Yeah.
It almost reaches a point of the geek shows.
Yeah.
In the back of the tents in the carnivals, because you're self-mutilating. Everybody knows what it is today. You know, so I look at it and I say, why would people, like, I know I just saw the tape of, I don't watch it, but I saw the Moxley thing where they had this spiked racket or something pulling out of his back.
In his back,
And people know what it is. It's not like they're thinking this really happened. They know it's set up. Why would you do that to yourself? And what does that say about wrestling today? I mean, we did what we did before because there was still that, like when you go to a magic show, if you don't know how it happens, it's fun to watch. Once you know what happens, you're looking for the cues, that it's going to happen, and then it takes the whole thing away. Everybody knows it today. So that to me, watching that to me is just, it says a lot about, number one, about Moxley and his mental health, but it also says a lot about the fans sitting there that want this stuff today, because you know what it is. It's just, it's over the top, and it's unbelievable to me. That's all.
Well, it's like they want the wrestlers to hurt themselves now. They want to see broken legs, and they want to see blood. It's like even the women, Don. I don't know if you've watched any recent like women's matches, but like in AEW, you got Toni Storm. She was going against Mariah May. Now she's going against a girl named Megan Bain. Unbelievable. These women are built like Amazons, first of all, but they are bleeding like pigs. Like they put some of the men to shame. I mean, really. But to me, their wrestling is their acrobats maybe is so good though. Why do you have to go to those lengths? Even though, I mean, people, like you just said, people like that. It draws, and it's a shame. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like any of that now. I saw the Moxley thing. I saw a little clip of it or whatever, and it was just like, because the way I view it now, it's like, oh my God, like you're going to regret this in 10, 15, 20 years, what you're doing to your body. And for what? Yeah, okay. The love for wrestling and to give the fans something special that they'll never forget. I get that. But why would you do this to yourself? Like, as great as I just watched the other night, it was Dark Side of the Ring with Mick Foley, and it was the Hell in the Cell. And what he did was incredible, but rewatching it, it was like, why? I don't, knowing everything he's going through now with it, body and his mind and, everything. It's like, wow, it's just, I don't know. I guess because I see the after effects of these guys and girls.
But back when we were doing, and again, I sound like the old goat, but back when we were doing it, Joel, there were times I'll just speak for me, with the character I had, I didn't even have to get in the ring to wrestle for 2 minutes. I could stay outside the ring for 10 minutes and get the heat and just win for 2 minutes, and get more than gashing my head or falling onto a spiked paddle, or, it was about giving it to the fans, so how did the fans get involved in that when he lands on that? Other than the shock value of it, you're not getting the fans emotionally involved, and it's just
no. What you get from the fans is yes, look at that. Now how do you top that?
Yeah, well, here's what you have to look back in the day. I mean, here's Larry Winters throwing DC Drake over a mezzanine onto the floor. Back in the day, Jerry Lawler got hit Eddie Gilbert with a car. Eddie Gilbert hit Jerry Lawler with the car. But they were surprises. Okay? Right. You saw it for the first time when we did the show at Temple University. Don wasn't the first one to ever get thrown over, but let me tell you, he was one of the first. Okay? Today, if you go to a show and somebody doesn't fall off the second mezzanine, you want your money back. And if you watch the videos on the YouTube, Super Crazy, who's going to be on our card, he just did a flip off the second floor of a mezzanine in New York that was unbelievable. Okay? And it's so expected at this point. And that's the difference. That's why, Don, with TV being what it is today, back in the day when we were running the show, you had 3, 6, and 10 in Philadelphia. You had UHF, VHF, whatever. Today you've got, come on, we can watch DC Drake wrestled 35 years ago. We can watch it on YouTube. Okay, so we didn't have YouTube back then. We didn't have Instagram back then. We didn't have telephones back then. Today, we're going to have a show on May 3rd. The video of the show will be around the world 1 second after it's done. Okay, there's no surprises anymore. People hold up the phone and you know what happens. So I think we were in the right place at the right time. We were able to take advantage. I didn't have TV. Look what happened when the ashes of TWA, Todd Gordon took over. ECW had TV, and look what he created. And he had TV. Yet today, you couldn't do either one of those. You couldn't do TWA or ECW. And you know why they're both not around? Because the times have changed.
See, but I agree with Don with regard to if we had done what we did years ago today.
Well, that's because you call him Sweet Face. I get it.
He is a sweet face. He's so cute. No, but I mean, but if we had done if we had done now what we did then, I think it would be a lot different if kayfabe was still around. That is the key, I think.
But you can't have that when everything's televised.
That's what I just said, Nasty Pants. I said if kayfabe was still around. Did you hear me? Okay, but I think, and Vince ruined that for everybody. He ruined it because he didn't want to pay for commission. He didn't want to pay doctors. He didn't want to do all that other baloney. He didn't want to have the State Athletic Commission involved. So he created entertainment, and that's what he did. And he ruined everything. Okay, but in the same token, kayfabe not being anything anymore is, in my opinion, one of the worst things that could have happened. Okay, now there is no kayfabe. If you try to keep something a secret, or you try to surprise somebody and you look like the idiot, it's like, what are you doing? Like, we know that. But like Don said, it's like, and Joel, you said it too, like everybody just wants more and more and more and more. And that's why I think May 3rd is such a plus. And that's why I think people should go see it, because there's going to be a lot, and I mean a lot, of old school stuff that we talk about every week on this podcast, about the wrestlers, how they made their own way, how they suffered, how they worked so hard, how this, how that. Those same wrestlers, a lot of them are going to be there. And people are going to get an opportunity to go talk to these people, just like they're friends, just like they're going to be right there for like 3.5 hours. Go talk to them. Let them tell you. Manny Fernandez, of all people, is going to be there, and let him tell you what it was like for him, because he was one of the older wrestlers compared to the people even of the TWA. But when you try to understand what it was like back then, it's kind of like, I remember Bruno Sammartino telling a story years ago about when he was a kid in Italy and there was the war going on and everything, which my mother was in that war as well. But he spent, I don't know how many weeks eating nothing but snow, him and his mother, and that's what I attribute some of this wrestling to. Like, you had nothing back then. You had nothing, and you still made it work. You still did what you had to do. Like Don says, with the passion, with the go get it, with the do it, with I want to do it. And it was a surprise. People didn't know. It's like, you go in there one night and be like, oh my God, did you see what just happened? And now it's like, oh, I can't wait for so-and-so to bleed, or I can't wait for so-and-so to, break his leg again or whatever. And that's the sad part about it. And even back then, when you hurt yourself, you were back there the next day regardless. There was no physical therapy. There was none of that stuff back then. It's all, this is what's happening now. And as far as Joel said, I agree with that. In that regard, we wouldn't be able to do it today. But getting back to the May 3rd show, Don, I think a lot of people are excited to see you there. They're excited to see the people from the banner that are going to be there. They're excited to see what's going to be going on in the ring. And I think that's what we need to focus on. Everything that's going to be happening that night, because the people need to know what it's dedicated to, what it's there for, what it means. And, they need to appreciate what it used to be like. And this is kind of like nostalgia. It's like going back years, and you're like, wow, this is what it used to be like. And it won't cost you an arm and a leg to do things like WWE costs now. And it won't be like that. You'll get to actually touch somebody. You'll get to shake a hand. You'll get to give a hug. You'll get to see a smile 2 feet away, without armed guards being between you guys. You know what I mean? It's so different. It's going to be so different. If you don't go to this, seriously, you're losing out. I mean, seriously, I don't even like Joel, but I think you should go to the show. And if not, you're losing out.
Now, just to go one step further, I will tell you, here's a prediction for you. I think that with all the talent we have at WrestleCon, DC Drake and Johnny Hotbody are going to have the longest line of people. And the reason for that is back in the day, you didn't have heels selling merchandise out front. Okay? And Johnny Hotbody and DC Drake, at least in TWA, was never a babyface. So they were never out. Now what's going to happen is they're actually going to be able to walk up. You know, the nice thing about having phones, okay, is we're going to have it set up where DC Drake and Johnny Hotbody, and everybody else for that matter, will pose with you to have a picture taken on your phone. Okay? And again, these are photos that you'll take. There'll be a small charge for it, but the reality is that you watch DC and Johnny Hotbody will have the longest lines. Okay. And God knows with all the talent that we're having, there'll be over 50 people in attendance, be the big names, be it the local talent. There's going to be a ton of them. Okay. And just bring your phone, bring your credit cards, okay? And we're going to have, it's going to be very inexpensive. I know Carmela talks about this all the time. It's going to be very inexpensive. It will be numbers that people will be able to afford, okay? It's an expensive undertaking. It is amazing. I mean, we can talk about accounting all day long, okay? This thing is an expensive undertaking. All that being said, people are going to come to this show and come to the WrestleCon because these are people that they've never gotten to meet one-on-one. Okay? And that's going to be the big difference. You can run into Tommy Rich at every con that you go to. You can run into Doug Gilbert. You can run into a lot of the con. But you don't see DC Drake. I don't think I've ever seen him at any con. Okay, I did see him at one con that Rob Feinstein had down here.
Yeah, I was going to say one. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had a picture taken with DC. It was great. Okay, I was like,
so did I. Yep.
I was like a little kid. I got to take a picture with him. Okay, it was phenomenal, and I think people are going to see that, and they're going to take the opportunity.
Well, I agree. I just met Don. I just met you for the first time at Joel's house, and I was so impressed. I was very touched. I was happy. I looked forward to that meeting, and I did not get disappointed in any way, shape, or form. I'm sorry that I didn't know you back then. Okay, that I never got to meet you. But I think, like Joel said, it's important. People are actually going to be not stuck behind a table all the time either. They're going to be walking around. Here and there. They're going to be, Jeannie and I are going to be walking around. Joel's going to be there. We're all going to be there doing something. Okay. You can come up and talk to any of us all the time if you want to, and that's, like I said, that's the beauty part of it all. And if you see Don and you want to say to him, what did it feel like falling from the second story or second floor or whatever, and have him explain to you what it felt like, and would he ever do it again, and what were his favorite times from when he started wrestling. Like, have him talk to you like a human being instead of just going up, okay, click, goodbye, going up, click, goodbye, go, and I mean, that's totally ridiculous. Don, I think that talking about you this way is going to help the people understand a little bit more that how so not AEW and WWE this is going to be. It's going to be, like you said before, like a conversation in a living room, sitting on a couch. And I think
a lot of people forget too is that when Don was with TWA, his manager was Nancy Benoit, woman.
Yep.
And working with her, and being
and Donnie Allen as well.
And Donnie Allen, yeah, and Donnie's going to be there, of course.
Yep.
God rest Nancy, but yeah, so you can talk to him about all of that.
Yeah, what it was like. Don, tell us a little bit about. I'm sorry, we're like kind of overshadowing you, and I apologize for that. But
no,
tell us a little bit about what your goal is, what your incentive is for this show, for being there and for meeting the people.
That's really what it comes down. Number one, Joel requested it, and that's number one. And it's not that I don't, like Joel said, I did the WrestleCons. It's not that I only did the one that you saw me in Philadelphia, Joel. Mm-hmm. I did that for Damian Kane because he was talking about getting back into the ring again, and he called me up and asked me to do it. It's not that I don't want to see the fans. I just don't. I wasn't interested in it anymore. You know, I mean, I said to myself, who's going to remember? I mean, it's 30 years ago. I wasn't on, you know, who's going to remember? So a lot of times I just stay away from it. I did a second one when Joel came up, when I got into the New England Hall of Fame. I did a second one there. And I don't think people were expecting to see me the way I looked. I think they wanted to see the dog collar and the, you know, instead I was wearing a suit that day, and I said, gee, maybe this was the wrong look, you know, but that's who I am today. And that's even who I was back then, you know, other than inside the ring. So I think my goal really is to, more than anything else, to be there for the fans, to thank them, because if it wasn't for them, what would we have? You know, they're the ones that make it all happen. They're the ones that make it all possible. And I always look that way. You know, when I see the way some of the wrestlers treat the fans, you wouldn't have a paycheck if they weren't buying tickets or buying your pictures or you know, buying the pay-per-views. You owe them. They're really your bosses. You know, and even those days, I remember I would see people after the shows, but I always had to be a little careful, you know, because of protecting kayfabe, you know, so I had to be careful. But kids and I mean, there were times when I was with, before Joel with NWF, I would do a lot of things at the Garden State Arts Center when kids had things going on down there, because I enjoyed them, because I remember what wrestling did for me as a kid and how important it was for me as a kid. And even as a heel, I remember one time I was doing something down there with kids that had special needs, and I was chasing them all around the place, and then they were chasing me, and it was fun.
Aww. Yeah.
Because I remembered how important wrestling was to me as a child, and what it got me through. You know, so that's really what I guess what I'm looking to accomplish, is being there, meeting the people, and really in some ways thanking them, you know, for what they did for me. I guess that's the easiest way I can say that. So.
Well, that's very honorable. That's an honorable thing that you say. And like you said, I think it's a shame that the fans do get treated badly today. Like, I've said this to the point where it's disgusting anymore, but like, you know, the wrestlers talk about, oh, you know, these people are here for us, and we love these people, and we love the fans in WWE universe and this and that. These wrestlers, if it wasn't for them putting money in their pocket, okay, they wouldn't do anything for the wrestling fans. Nothing. And like, even the ones, now I'm going to be honest, the Make-A-Wish Foundation stuff that happens, I think there are wrestlers today who would still do it if they didn't get paid. But you mark my words, there's money involved even in something like that, and that's a shame. All right, that is a shame. My cardiologist, it's funny because I talked about him one day when I was here. My cardiologist, he had a special needs child that was part of the Special Olympics who has recently passed away. But he would go there, and he told me himself, he said that being at the Special Olympics was one of the best things he ever did in his life, because he couldn't believe that he would see grown men there who couldn't do enough for the children and literally crying. And, you know, and I told him, I said, you know, a lot of those wrestlers get paid to do that. He goes, that's true. He said, but some of them stay longer than they have to. They do more than they have to. They enjoy it more than they have to. And I think, you know, I put John Cena, God bless him. He's done what, 600, 1,000 Make-A-Wish foundations. But how much would he have done if he wasn't getting paid for it, if he wasn't in the public eye? Now, I know he has a special needs brother, so maybe he would do stuff on his own. I don't know. But it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder what wrestlers today really think of the people. Like, as much as I love Will Ospreay, and I love him dearly, I saw an interview with him where he said himself that he doesn't read anything that anybody sends him. He said he doesn't have time for that. And I think that's crap. I really do. I think it's crap since I'm one of the people who writes to him. I think it's stupid. I think he should read what I write to him. But I think it's wrong for him to come right out and say that. If you don't read what people send you, don't say it. It makes them think like you're a real ass. And now I feel like, I'm going to start agreeing with that because it's not right. How are you going to say in public, well, I don't read what people send me? Well, like, who the hell are you? See, now I'm getting mad and I don't like it. I don't like it at all, But anyway, getting back to the.
Well, I have a question. Now, okay. I know, Don, you're going to be at the WrestleCon and you are going to be at the show, especially for the dropping of the banner and the 10-bell salute and things like that. Are you actually going to be a part of the match between Tony Stetson and Mike Bruno, the lumberjack match as a lumberjack?
Yeah. I believe so. Do you have me scheduled for that, Joe?
Well, that's up to Bay. Here's what we're going to do.
See that?
Yeah, well, one of the things that we're trying to do with we know that between Tony Stetson and Michael Bruno, and those guys just do not like each other. They're going to throw each other out of the ring. And I'm always concerned about the safety feature. Okay. And to be honest, if DC Drake wants to be around the ring, who the hell am I to say no? Okay.
Nobody.
Okay. So bottom line is he's going to be there. We'd love him to be around the ring. Okay. That'll be his call. If he can't be around,
I was actually planning to. Well, I was planning to put it that way. Okay.
All right. But then you got to wear the neck and you got to come out with the black eyes.
You know what, Don? That would be nice if you could do that.
I'm telling you, that'd be phenomenal. In fact, Donnie's going to be as part of it, so Donnie can actually bring you out with the chain.
Sounds good. What are we going to do about the hair, Joel? What's?
Well, that's a whole nother story.
Okay. Well, that's you'll be the new Drake. You'll be the new Mad Dog. How about that? The new one. That's all. But you know what, Don? You're going to be part of the lumberjack with Lumber Jeannie.
Lumbergenies. We got 2 Lumbergenies.
Excellent.
Yeah. I'm going to be.
Joel's been trying to convince her to wear a French maid costume because I opened my big mouth and said that she wore one years ago. So now he keeps busting her chops about wearing it. But she's going to be part of it, and we keep hoping that somebody will fall out in front of her. That'd be cool. Great. We were just talking about her outfit the other night. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I think it'll be great. And we now have 2 Lumbergenies. We have Jeannie, and we also have Erica, Johnny Hotbody's girlfriend, lady friend, fiance, whatever she is. So she's going to be outside the ring as well.
I think it's going to be fun.
Since Johnny can't. Yeah, since Johnny can't.
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun. We're going to have some fun.
Oh, yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
You know what? One of the things that happened in the last year and a half, I had the opportunity to go up to Rhode Island to see Don inducted into the Hall of Fame up there. And it was so cool. He was the first one. He got up there, and thank you, Don, for acknowledging me in the crowd. What was amazing was watching him give the speech. I mean, he is elegant. He's just perfect. But it was nice to see him receive the award that he deserved. What was amazing is how many people up there knew who he was. What's scary was how many people knew who I was. That was
absolutely
scary.
Joel actually got some great applause, which was wonderful. So, absolutely.
Yeah, how much did you pay these people? I mean, I was surprised.
Speaking of paying, Don, I have a favor to ask you, please, in public. If I slip you $5, can you accidentally hit Joel in the head? Just a little bit. Just $5. I'll just slip it to you. Nobody will see it.
He'll do it for free. He'll do it for free.
I'll give you $5 if I can do that. So that's great.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that then.
No, Joel knows better than that, but.
Just like this, just like that, a little bit. 1, 2, 3. That's all.
I wish I could be around the ring and be a lumberjack. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. But I'm there to watch my history flashed before my eyes. And that's what's going to happen here. And I'm hoping that the fans understand and recognize this is 35 years in the making.
Absolutely.
And people are coming out to see this. And that says something about what, I mean, the wrestlers that are wrestling today, 35 years from now, are you going to even know who they are? No, I'm telling you, that's what's going to make this event so spectacular.
Well, and I can't do the lumber stuff either. So I'm probably going to be standing next to Joel, and we're both going to be watching it together. And it's funny because, like, Jeannie, you say once in a while about your independent wrestlers, you feel like a proud mama. And I think that's what we're going to feel like, proud mom and pop up there, with all of our, years and years, like you said, years of nostalgia, more so you in this particular case than me. But it's going to be amazing. Watching what it was like 30, 35, 40, whatever years ago. And I was just talking to my daughter today saying that, like, a lot of the people that we knew from back then, God rest their souls, are not here, and it's like fewer and fewer people are going to be able to be at these events as time goes on. So I think it's important, again, for people to go and see what it's like. Like, I cannot stress that enough, for people to go, and anybody who listens to this podcast, I think it's so important for you to get a taste of what it was like in the good old days, and have it.
And a lot of the guys that are going to be there, it's either their retirement match, their last match ever, or their last match in the Philly area, because they're retiring at the end of the year, like the Rock and Roll Express. So I mean, you really, it's definitely, I'm going to be a hot mess, to be honest with you. I know I've said that before. I'm just going to be a hot mess, but except during the lumberjack match. And I will get my hands on Mike. I will. But it's going to be just phenomenal. It really is going to be a phenomenal day. The whole day.
It is, and I'm looking forward to it.
And night, the after party.
Don, will you be able to be at the after party with us?
I'm hoping so.
Oh,
yay!
Awesome. I'm excited. I really am excited because, and again, I'm going to say this publicly. I like you. I like you a lot. And I think, like Joel said, you're a very nice, very classy, very respectful person. I'm not saying that I like you in a disrespectful way. I don't mean it that way. I like you as a person. You're a nice person. And you were very kind to me when you met me. And that's all I have to go by, is how I was treated. But I think if Larry was here right now, he'd probably right at this point make some stupid joke, about me being like, yeah, well, nobody's nice to you or something like that. But it meant the world to me, and I'm absolutely looking forward to being with you and Tony and Johnny and Erica and Jeannie and Joel, and oh God, I mean, I could go on and on and on. It'll be so nice to be with this many amazing people for an entire day. It's like I said earlier, I already have an in to take a couple of days off from work starting like Monday, because I'm not going to make it. And the funny thing is the next day I have another event that I have to go to. So it's going to be a very, very long weekend, but I'm really looking forward to it. You guys might have to drag me out, passed out, but I'm going to do the best I can to do it. I'm excited. I'm very excited about it. And, I can't say enough about it, but I want to say something right now, because we're talking about inductions and Hall of Fames. I want to read this to you. I got this from Manny Fernandez. Last week, we did a show on, Don, I don't know if you saw it or not, a show on Ox Baker's daughter. And
no, I didn't see it.
Yeah, the brutality that he went through.
Story.
In
the nursing home, you mean, when he was older or young?
No, when he apparently he had invited these two people that were destitute to live in his apartment or his house or whatever he was
drug
at the time.
Drug addicts.
And they turned out to be drug addicts. And what they did was, not only did they steal his money, but they physically, verbally, emotionally, mentally abused the heck out of him for long term. They poisoned him with rat poison. They injected him with drugs. They broke dishes over his head. They made him a hot mess, as Jeannie would say. But he also had dementia and Alzheimer's. Anyway, when he passed away, his daughter believes that he didn't actually die from that heart attack. She thinks that it was caused by what they did to him. And, we had this big long thing about, how much it meant to her to be able to be on our podcast to tell her truth. And she was talking about trying to get him inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame and, all this other stuff. And I just wanted to mention that again, for anybody who didn't know it. But I got this text message when I send Manny Fernandez the show every week. And every time that I do send it to him, he does listen. And he sent me this, and he said, "Sorry, my precious friend. I was in New York for the Homicide Hall of Fame induction. And he was just getting back, and he was very tired. He said, Ox was one of the most beautiful people in this profession of ours. I will be praying for him and his family." And congratulations to Manny Fernandez for the induction. I wish I had known about it in advance, so maybe we could have come up to congratulate you. But Manny was just recently inducted into a Hall of Fame as well, and it's well deserved. So I just wanted to put that in there.
I don't know if he was inducted.
No,
Homicide was inducted. He went.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Let me look at it again because I'm probably wrong.
It was Homicide
Hall of Fame induction. Okay,
right.
That wasn't him then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, Manny should be inducted.
And Manny trained Homicide. And that's why he went all the way up there.
Wow, that's awesome. He could have just stayed at my house until the 3rd of May. He didn't have to go way back home. He could have stayed here with me. I could have cooked dinner every day. I would have taken off from work. It would have been
Well, he just got a service dog, so.
Yeah.
He could have brought the dog. He could have had fun. Walk the dog, But I love Manny. And unfortunately, he's another one that I've never met. It's unusual for me to have gone all these years without meeting, a few of the people that I haven't met, and it's sad. But anyway, Manny, I apologize for the mistake. I still love you dearly, no matter what, and you belong into every Hall of Fame that exists. But anyway,
for sure.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And I think it's important for everybody to be recognized, regardless of what they do. Clearly, you can see I still make a lot of mistakes, and I make them all in public. So I don't even hide that from anybody. I just do it, But Joel, didn't you have something you wanted to tell us about May 3rd, dear?
Oh, sure. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll give you a surprise. Now, I will tell you that this happened today at around, I'm going to say 1:30. So this is new, hot off the presses. We have an additional person coming to WrestleCon. Okay. And I think this person you'll get a lot of oohs and ahs. Okay. We're actually, I don't know how to drum roll this. I wish I could.
All right, wait a minute. Wait, I got to interrupt you. Stop. Okay. Listen, Don and Jeannie, he told me this today. He said, if you guess it, I will tell you that you're right. There's so many people going to be there May 3rd. I couldn't, for the life of me, even remember who was going to be there. He said that this person is related to a wrestler who is going to be at the con and possibly at the show, right?
No, I said both the con and the show.
Okay, I just said that, didn't I? At the con.
No, you said one or the other. Both of them. The person. No. Go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, can you guys guess who it is? Just before he says it.
I don't know.
I think I saw something.
You saw
but
something?
I don't remember. I
saw something.
I think so, unless it's somebody completely different. Hold on, let me.
Okay, let me see who you saw. What?
If something was out already and you made me drag all day long, I'm going to kill you.
I wouldn't tell Carmela this. I certainly haven't had the chance to tell Don this because I and Jeannie, I didn't call Jeannie.
Mm-mm.
Does Bay know?
I already came up with a name for it.
No, does Bay know, Joel?
Oh no, this was just for the WrestleCon.
Okay. No, this person is No, this person is just for the WrestleCon, but this person is related to one of the wrestlers who's going to be both at the WrestleCon and One and Done.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. It looks like it's 3 people. It's a group.
No.
Okay, then what I'm saying isn't what you're talking about. So okay. I have no idea.
Okay, let's just work for a drum roll. Ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Well, here's what we're doing. I'm calling it TNT. I'm calling it TNT. Now let's think if you can figure this out.
Okay, that hurt.
TNT, dynamite.
Can't do it anymore.
Explosion.
You better not say that word.
All right, in attendance at the WrestleCon, along with Tessa Blanchard, will be Tully Blanchard.
Tully, oh my God!
Tully is coming in. TNT, Tessa and Tully. Tully in the house.
I was going to say Tully. You know, I swear to God, I swear. I'm not even lying. But I thought there's no way it's going to be him. No way.
It's him.
And there we go.
It's him. Now,
wow.
What I do now, one of the problems that I had with all this, yes, Tully's coming in for the WrestleCon, but he also knows that he wants to see his daughter. Well, if his daughter's going to be wrestling and Tully's going to be in, and then wait a second, then Samantha Starr is going to be there with Baby Doll. And Baby Doll and Tully are going to be in the building, and their kids are going to be wrestling. I'm not sure where this is going.
I'm just thinking to myself, wouldn't that be something if they both decided to maybe hop in the ring and stick up for their perspective offspring?
Is going to be in the house.
Wow. Nice. Oh, that's awesome.
TNT.
Oh my God. How can you guys not come to that? Holy crap.
Going to be TNT at the TWA.
Wow.
Wow. Awesome. That is awesome. Don, I wanted to ask you also, I don't know if you are aware of this yet. I know we mentioned it around you before, but we have a definite date for the tribute show to Larry Winters. It's going to be the 11th of April. I'm hoping that you would be able to be available for that date.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're going to have you. We're going to have Johnny. We're going to have Tony. Joel, Jeannie, myself, of course. Colin said he would come. We definitely want to get, we're going to get a bunch of people if we can. I can only put 10 people up on the screen at one time, including Jeannie and myself, but we're going to have people lined up at the bottom where we're going to, bring people up and down, in and out. I think it'll be nice to have a nice tribute to Larry. We wanted to do it closer to the 3rd of May. Because in all this talking that we've done about Larry, we all think that he definitely deserves a tribute. He deserves the recognition.
He sure does. Yeah, no doubt.
Right. Yeah, and it's the Friday before what would have been his 69th birthday.
Wow.
So
wow, he was older than me. I thought I was older than him. He was going to be 69.
Yeah, he would have been 69 this April 14th.
Okay, goodness. Well, I'll be 68 in June, so it's not that much older, but I did think I was older than him. But could you imagine what he would look like?
That's because you're like everybody's mother, regardless.
No. She is a mother.
Shut up, nasty pants. Now you know why you're called nasty pants, okay? But you know what? Could you imagine Larry today with the same hairdo, the same haircut? Okay, I always used to tell him,
and the same $100 bill.
Holding it up. If absolutely. I'm not mistaken, did Mike Tartaglia cut his hair too, or am I nuts?
Yeah. That's why I want to make sure. Yeah, because Mike, Bob Ortiz,
the worst haircut I've ever seen in my life. Okay, I'm telling you this in public. All right, I'm a hairdresser. Every time, Jeannie, you know this. Every time I'd see Larry, I'd look at the back of his. I'm like, Larry, let me fix this. Let me cut it. Let me fix it. No, my hairdresser will get really mad at me. No, I can't let you. I said, but it's not right. It's not even. It's not this. It's not that. No, can't let you do it. He'll be mad at me. And I didn't know back then that it was him. I found out over the years.
Well, technically, Mike didn't actually cut his hair. but he had the hair shop, and one of his employees would do
Did
his
it?
hair.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I always wanted to fix it for him, and he wouldn't let me. So there you go. But I would just be yelling at him today for the same thing. Come on, Larry, come over to my house. Let me fix it real quick, and that's that. But I could imagine it's always tell the story, Joel, about what you did with Larry when he didn't have change.
Well, okay. He always carried around $100 bill. Okay. Well, and every time he and I would go to Jersey or whatever, I always got nailed with the tolls at the Tacony Palmyra Bridge and at the Ben Franklin Bridge. So one time I had to do this. We were driving. I'm trying to, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, Don, we were going to Bricktown, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I went to the bank and I got 5 20s out. Okay. And one time we got to the bridge and he says, all I got is 100. I said, well, here you go. And I gave him 5 20s. And now he had to pay the damn toll. And he was so pissed at me because it cost him. And he knew I got him. And every time I went over the bridge with him, I had change of 100 just in case he had a new one.
He was so funny. I remember when we went out to eat one time, we used to go to the clubhouse on Street Road. You guys remember that?
Yep.
And Dominic Giannucci was with us. Yeah. And Larry tried to pull that with Dominic, that he only had $100 bill. Little did everybody know that he only pulled out the $100 bill. He had other money, you know, and he always pulled out the 100. That's all I have is 100. And Dominic was like, hey, he said, you pull out of some money. He goes, you help pay for this stuff. He said, I kick your ass. And then we all started laughing. And Larry, of course, you know, but I think he mostly did that to joke around. Larry was a very good-spirited, generous person. He really was, especially with children. They never wanted for anything. And it was always new hockey stuff and hockey trips and hockey this and hockey that. And they need this and they want that. And God bless him, he didn't pinch pennies when it came to them. And he was a good man. He really was. And I have a picture. Yeah, I have a picture. I think I still have it. Let me see if I still have it. I'll put it up. Of Larry at my house when my oldest daughter was just born. Here we go. There it is. I'm going to move there. Larry and my oldest daughter at my house. He was holding her. He loved that. He loved coming over and messing with her and stuff
and
like
that. His sister Annie used to babysit.
Yes, she did. His sister Annie babysat. So like I said, we're going to have a nice big crowd, and it's probably going to be a very long show. So hopefully everybody will be enthused enough. You know, Don, get your stories together if you have any for Larry. Do you have any cool, and just maybe one that you can share with us about you and Larry or your experiences?
No, not really. I mean, Larry was just good to be around. I mean, that was the bottom line, especially in the wrestling business. You know, he didn't really take himself serious, which was great. Whatever you wanted to do, Larry was all for it, and he always had a way to make it even better. So he had a great head on his shoulders for wrestling. I know we would spend hours on the phone, hours, and that was back in the day when, you know, we were paying phone bills.
Yeah.
You know, before we had the cell phones. So yeah, I would call him, he'd call me, and we'd be hours on the phone talking about this, talking about that. So no, a nicer guy. I mean, you couldn't find in the wrestling business. So I really don't have any really funny stories, you know, other than I remember his face when I told him to throw me off the balcony. I'll never forget that. Even when we were up there, he said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah." No, I'm not going to do it. I said, "Do it." No, I ain't going to do it. But he did it. But yeah, he's a good guy. So I'm looking forward to that show myself.
Let me ask you a question, Don. In the video, have you ever seen the video of that match on YouTube yourself?
No, I've never seen that.
Well, I'm going to look at it. I want to see if at any point, sometimes when you know something and you look at it again, you can almost be like, "Oh, I saw
you'll
that."
See it.
You know, I want to see if I can see you guys talking before you fall off. You know, and have him see if he says anything.
Carm, is that video on YouTube? Because I have never seen it.
I've never seen it either.
The only thing I've seen
on
YouTube is where Don was putting Larry over but he didn't actually go over.
But that was up in the
That's
press
the only
box,
clip
right?
I've ever seen.
The press box.
I've never seen the full thing.
There was a scene where Don and Larry went up to the press box at Temple University.
Oh, press box, okay.
Okay, and that's where he was Larry was hanging out, and Don and they were actually holding him back, obviously, because he was close. But I have never seen the one. Somebody must have it, but I didn't see the video of the one where Don actually gets thrown off the mezzanine.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
I've never seen that.
Okay, well, anybody who watches this video tonight or over the weekend, if you know where that video is of that match with DC Drake and Larry Winters, where DC Drake gets thrown off the mezzanine, please let us know. You can email us at 316carmela@gmail.com. You can contact us on Twitter, Facebook, anything like that. Contact me, Jeannie, or Joel, or Don, whoever you want to, and let us know where we can watch it, and then we'll let everybody else know as well. Again, I can't believe Tully Blanchard's going to be there on the 3rd. Don't forget, Tully Blanchard's going to be there. It's going to be an awesome, awesome day. It's very rare that you can go to a wrestling event and be there all day and get to walk up to wrestlers, hang out with them, sit with them, possibly even eat later on during the day with them if you want, go to an after party with them and actually be allowed to go, watch them in a match, just spend the entire day for a small amount of money. Also, at the after party, you got to remember, you must have the stub from the show, not the con, the show. And if you have that, you get into the after party for free, or you get in at all. I don't think you can get in without it. But it'll be fun. We're all going to be there. We're all going to have a great time. Some people will be staying overnight. We don't want you to drink and drive, but it's going to be really cool. And I think it's probably going to be one of the last times that as a group, wrestling fans are going to be able to literally hang out with wrestlers from it starts at 12 or 12:30, Joel?
12.
The con starts at 12, goes to 3:30. Then there's a break for dinner if you want to go grab a bite to eat in South Philly or hang around the building. Then the doors open at 6 o'clock for the show, with the matches starting at 7:30 sharp.
Okay, and then God knows when they're going to be over. And then right after they're over, we all get together. Right after they're over, we all get together, and we go to the airport at the old Marriott, which is now called DoubleTree Hotel. And Joel's got a block of rooms that are almost gone. So that's the key there. It's almost gone. So make sure you call. Make sure you get your reservations. Make sure you get your tickets. Unfortunately, you don't want to be left behind and be standing outside at the door when everybody else is screaming and yelling in there and you can't get in. So, that's really important. 2300arena.com. I think that you need to absolutely see this show. It's something you're not going to forget anytime soon. That's for sure. And like I said, Jeannie and I are going to be hopefully doing a podcast from there live. If you want, we can have you on our podcast. Just come up and sit down next to us. Don, I would love for you to come over and hang out for a minute and sit next to us and be on our podcast. Okay. Joel, unfortunately, we have to have you there too. So you can come by and hang out, nasty pants, but we're going to have Sweet Face there. So that'll be good. It'll be fun. It'll be so much fun. And look, if I can do it, I'm 67 years old. Every part of my body hurts. So if I can do it, anybody can do it.
I don't want to hear this 67-year-old. I'm 71, so don't even get started.
Be quiet, okay? I don't want to hear it from you either, because that's all I hear from you every day. Every day is, I don't know. What am I going to do? What am I going to 39 more days, 38 more days. Don, consider yourself blessed that you don't have to talk to this man every single day. Every single day, okay? He calls me at work today, and every time he calls my job, if I don't answer the phone, he calls my cell phone. He goes, "You tell me to call you at work and you're never there." I said, Joel, did you ever hear of anybody walking away from their desk or being on another line, or actually working?
No, that's not what you said. That's not what you said.
That's not what I said today, okay? I'm not going to say what I said today. You're not. All right, I was in the bathroom. I mean, all right. I mean, come on. He chases me down like I'm like a crazy man. But
Joel,
Well, we also can't forget another event that's going to be happening is Don. I don't know if you heard about this or not, but the wedding between Joel and Carmela. I'm either going to be a maid of honor or best man. I'm not sure. They haven't decided yet. I know.
Or referee.
Referee. There you go.
Is going to be the flower girl. Our friend Christine. She wants to be the flower girl. So, well, that should also be another.
You know what's funny? Joel and I have been wrestling. We've been wrestling husband and wife for God knows, I can't even tell you how long. We have done nothing over the years since the day we met but argue and argue and argue and argue. But yet we're there for each other 100%, right? Right?
Hello? Hello?
Wow. Is this working? Okay. Is this working?
Hello? Hello?
Don't forget how we met Officer Montana Lightheart, right?
Hello?
Yeah, hello. I'll show you hello.
I can't hear a word. What? Hello?
Don, set him straight, please. See, this is how we get along.
But that's a good thing. So at least you're talking. That's what counts, right? So
yes.
No, we do. We talk and we say I love you after every conversation.
That's
and
wonderful.
Then if he doesn't say it, I make him say it. I keep yelling at him until he either says it or he hangs up on me.
Hello? I can't hear a word he's saying.
You know what, Joel? I can take you off of here in a click. All right?
Please.
What do you mean? Something like this?
Hey, there we go.
There he goes. But keep clapping.
Oh, I didn't tell you to put me back on.
Yeah, but now look where he is, right? So it's
there you go. The other end. Oh,
now
wow,
you can
you're
stomp
under me where you belong.
Right. Now you can stomp on him. Yeah.
There you go. Like what's her name says? Mommy's always on top.
That's right.
All right. I also want to say something too, real quick. I started to say this before the show started. I saw an Instagram video today of Hulk Hogan's ex-wife. Her name is Linda Bollea, and she has, I don't know whether she's lost it or what, but she did a big Instagram thing, sobbing her eyes out, no makeup on, her hair was ridiculous. She, looked like she was so distraught. And she says that she blames Hulk Hogan for everything that's going wrong in her life right now. She said that her daughter doesn't talk to either one of them. She got married without telling anybody. She had 2 children. She had twins without telling anybody. And she refuses to let them see the babies. She said that she never had words with her, but Hulk and her did. And now she's taking it out on her mother. I think it's important to say that because it's news. Not that I really care much, but it's news, and I think that it's important to say that.
Well, actually, I was going to say it actually made the Daily Mail out of out of England. I was going through it. I always read the Daily Mail, and I saw that on there this afternoon. So yeah, it is news.
Yeah. So it is. Yeah. So I don't know. I didn't get the whole story yet, but of course. I did send, there's a lot of Linda Bollea up on Instagram. I clicked on every one. 2 of them had the little blue thing that said that they're authentic. And of course I wrote to her and I told her she'd be more than welcome to come on my podcast and tell her truth about what's going on. And I said to my kid today, I said, could you imagine one day Hulk Hogan saying, let me tell you something, brother. She was on Carmela's podcast. And Carmela started all this trouble, brother. I could just say it. It'd be funny as hell. But anyway, I always reach out to everybody. It was funny, but when we met this officer, first thing Joel said to him is, do you like wrestling? And Joel's trying to sell him a ticket, and I'm yelling on the phone. He has me on speakerphone, and I'm yelling, tell him about the podcast. Tell him about the podcast. And it's sad, but this is what we do. And my daughter says to me, Mom, stop. You do that all the time. I said, no, I'm not going to stop. So everywhere we go, everybody we meet is like, what are you doing May 3rd? And do you listen to podcasts? That's what we do when we're together. So at least, we get along that way. We're always promoting something. Right, Joel?
Hello? Hello?
I hate you. Oh, my God. Don, I'm so sorry that we had to bring you on this show to hear me and Joel fight. It's always a pleasure to have you on. And honestly, we're looking forward to having you be there on the 3rd. And again, I can't stress enough how important it is for people to be there. It's going to be such a good show.
It really is. It's going to be nostalgia and just good old-fashioned TWA wrestling, and giving it and the guys the closure of the TWA. And so it's just a very special night. Very special.
Don, do you see this as closure for you as well?
Say again, I'm sorry.
Do you see this as closure for you as well?
You know, I was thinking about that today, and I think it is. I wonder if I'm ever going to get involved in anything with wrestling again after this. So certainly, I believe it is.
Okay. I mean, are you okay with that?
Am I okay with that? Yeah. Well, from what it's, you know, the stuff I'm watching today, it's sometimes, and I hate to say this, but sometimes I'm embarrassed to even say I was involved in wrestling because of some of the things I see today. But when I think back as to what we did in Philadelphia, I'm not embarrassed. I'm proud. And I don't see it ever being able to top that again, honestly. So it's going to have to be closure for me because I don't see anything else I could do to top this.
Well, you know, you're always welcome here.
Well, thank you.
Anytime. What are you laughing at?
You don't stop.
Well, you know what? Okay. When I stop, you say I stopped too soon. When I don't stop, you say you don't stop. Make up your mind, Joel.
What?
All right. With that note, Jeannie, you have anything else you want to add to this?
Just everybody, please go get your tickets, 2300arena.com, and be a part of history. Just be a part of it. Because it's going to be
absolutely, it's going to go down in history with everybody else. Absolutely.
Yeah, and keep in mind, we're filming this as a documentary. So if you're in the audience, you will be videoed as part of history. Yeah.
There you go. And you will be a legacy. You'll be part of a legacy. And I think that's very cool. That's important.
And Joel's book is getting released that day.
Yep.
And we'll be there. And you can, at the con, and go and get your book and get it autographed. Yeah, I know I'm doing that. I've been waiting how many freaking years for this damn book.
This book, 7 years.
7 years.
7 years.
And you get your picture taken with Joel.
Yes.
Oh, how exciting.
If he's going to be nice to you, I don't know. But you'll get your picture taken with Don. And Jeannie will be part of the Lumberjacks. She'll be Lumber Jeannie. And Erica will be there as Lumber Jeannie Erica. But, you know, and I'll just be walking around somewhere. I may be sitting around somewhere.
And Don is going to be a lumberjack as well. Confirmed.
That's right. I'm excited about that. Don, you never know. You might see me sneaking in there a little bit. You never know.
To get the hair. She wants to get to his hair.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, you know, Joel has a job for everybody. Did you notice this but me? I'm the only one he decided to leave out on purpose. That's okay.
What? Hello? What?
I'm going to end this now. And I'm going to tell everybody, thank you. Everybody except Joel, thank you very much for being here. Don, always a pleasure. I hope that you enjoyed yourself tonight.
I certainly did. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to have you around. Next time we do this, we'll do it without you know who on the side there. And we'll just leave him home somewhere. Oh, you heard that, didn't you?
What?
But Don, we're hoping to see you on the 11th again. Okay, I will contact you and we'll be in touch as to who's going to be there. We'll let everybody know. We'll send out like a blast text message or video, email, whatever. Thank you again, seriously, for being here. I am very eternally grateful to you. God bless you, and I wish you well and can't wait to see you again. Joel,
same.
I mean, excuse me, nasty pants. It's been an event. It really has been an event having you here. I'm not going to say good or bad. I'll just say it's been an event. What?
What?
Hello?
Hello?
Jeannie, as always, I love you dearly.
I love you most. Yes.
I love you most definitely.
I love everybody on the screen. Thank you for being on the show, and thank you for just all your support, and cannot wait for May 3rd. I cannot get here fast enough.
I feel the same way. And again, I thank everybody as well. It's wonderful. That's all I can say. So thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. And the show's going to drop tonight. So Don, if you would please, could you share it when you get it? Do you want me to send it to you separately, or do you want to just wait for it to be on the page?
Send it to me separately. It's a little easier for me to do. I'm not the most
okay. I'll send it to you in a text message. Okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
That way it's easier for me to post it that way. So okay.
All right. No problem. Joel, I'll talk to you later. Maybe not. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Damn it.
And if I'm not at my desk, it doesn't mean I'm not at work. Okay.
Joel's saying that, but he'll be calling you. Wait and see. So.
Oh yeah, he will.
Don, good seeing you again, my man.
Okay, same here, Joel. Thank you.
Take care.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye.